Yes, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. That's me, by the way. And do please, come on. I keep asking, I know, but it really helps if you like and subscribe. And comments, I like your comments. Some very good comments recently. Some guy said he'd been reading my book and he found it amazing. There's 3 of them, actually. I sincerely hope that you've all read it by now. It's doing quite well on Amazon, actually. I'm going to talk today about a disgusting, horrible, disgraceful, vile gang of shithouses in Glasgow that have just been sentenced to between 8 and 20 years apiece, including 2 females, by the way. Let me show you an image of one of these females. A charming-looking lady, don't you think? There we go. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. There she goes, yeah. A real honey, eh? All 30 stone of the fat bitch. Yeah. Been abusing children. Hard to believe when you see what they've been doing. They were arrested, charged and found guilty in Glasgow for running a place called the BEASTIE House. Beastie House was its name. Oh, that's what there was known by the victims. That's what they called it. And they were arrested and charged under Operation Woodwhite by Police Scotland. Now that big fat blob of a child abuser was called Elaine Lannery. She'll be in a bang up in Scotland now, and undoubtedly on Rule 43A, because believe me, the females in the female prison will not be liking the idea that she's been doing what she was being doing, and it's hard to understand why anybody would do this. Feeding little children under the age of 13. Feeding them dog food, locking them in cupboards with spiders and cockroaches. And that is why it was called the Beastie House, because they tortured the little children by locking them in a cupboard in the dark with a box full of spiders, cockroaches and all manner of creepy crawly things. Hence it got the name of Beastie House, yeah? They didn't just stop that, fed them dog food, made them eat dog food, locked children into a chest freezer, removed all the shelving and what have you, and put them in the freezer, locked them in, subjected them to savage beatings, rape, serial rape, and they used to time the rapes. So they'd have like an egg timer or something on it, went bing, and you had to stop, and the next person got on, yeah? Sexual violence, and forced these little children under the age of 13 to take drugs, sniff drugs, and take drugs and drink alcohol. And then, as a special treat for Elaine Lannery, special treat for that big, fat, ignorant, 30-stone slob, she is going to get it, I'm telling you. Somebody is going to get a grip of that big bitch. They forced the little boys, to have sex with the under 13-year-old girls whilst they all sat round and watched. What kind of perverted, strange, disgusting, vile, horrible shithouses are they? Anyway, 7 gang members. You can see it. It's on the BBC site. I'll put a link down below. Yeah, down below here, a link to the BBC page which highlights the story, and you can read it for yourself. It's absolutely disgraceful. And it all dates, been going on for years. It dates back to 2012. And this was all discovered by a member of a church who tried to rehabilitate and help these children, or a number of the children, and discovered the story and reported it to the police. And eventually the police did something about it. Man, it did take a little while, didn't it? Under Operation Woodwhite. 8 to 20 years apiece, 7 gang members, including 2 females, and they'll all be banged up. I should imagine that the males will be in the Bar L tonight. That's the big prison for Glasgow, and no doubt they'll be receiving a warm welcome from their compatriots. Hiya guys, welcome to Bar L. We'd like you to meet your nemesis. I'm sure we all would like them to meet their nemesis, and that's where we're at today. That's today's little rant. Disgraceful. It's hard to believe, but they're all white, you know, these people are all white, not members of an ethnic minority group, as we keep hearing about ethnic minority groups that are abusing children. And of course there's been reported today that certain members of a certain ethnic minority group have been hanging around schools, taking photographs of little children and purportedly attempting to abduct them. I'm sure that something is going to be done about this sooner or later. What was it Enoch Powell said? There will be rivers of blood in the streets of Britain. Well, unless something is done about this, I can see that in the future we don't want vigilante gangs. We don't want jailhouse justice, such as apparently been meted out to that shithouse from Southport. That last week's scumbag of the week, who apparently, according to one particular broadcaster on here, called Bang Bang, I think he calls himself, an ex-prisoner who looks like he's been seriously beaten around the head, but he's nonetheless quite an entertaining character. I'd highly recommend you have a look at him. He is reporting that Shithouse has been severely beaten down the block at Strangeways. Well, the staff wouldn't actually allow themselves to be doing things like that. The staff wouldn't do it. It may be one of the cleaners or another inmate. You see, I'll tell you straight what happens. I personally haven't done this myself because I don't believe in jailhouse justice. I don't believe in it, but it happens. The staff will let people know, you know, that the cell door will be unlocked, and that they would perhaps turn a blind eye if something horrible was going to happen. I knew one senior officer at Strangeways who used to send out his hitman to do damage to people who had crossed his path. Quite a high-profile senior officer as well, been on the television numerous times. I won't mention his name, but he knows who he is. And if you're watching today, I keep diaries. Know what I mean? Wrote them down every day, times, all the rest of it. So there we have it. Yeah, and that's what's happening today. That's a sentence today, costing the fortune again. Another couple of £1 million well spent on locking shitbags up. How disgusting is that? What on earth do people get out of wanting to abuse little children? Goodness gracious me. It disturbs me. I mean, I'm not going to attack anybody. I don't advocate anybody else doing that. But it seriously is disturbing. Anyway, thank you very much. That's Tales from the Jails today. And thanks for liking and subscribing. Leave your comments, ask me a question, do what you will. That's a song dinger, by the way. So if you don't like the noise, it's time to hit the road, Jack. I'm going to do you another song by Marty Robbins. I quite like Marty Robbins, you know. This is El Paso. Tells a little story. I quite like these story songs, yeah. This is from Marty Robbins, yeah. By the time I finish this, I expect you'll all be heading towards El Paso. Are you sitting comfortably? Well, it won't last long. Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. Nighttime would find me in Rose's cantina. Music would play and Felina would whirl. Blacker than night were the eyes of Felina, wicked and evil while casting her spell. My love was deep for this Mexican maiden. I was in love, but in vain I could tell. One night a wild young cowboy came in, wild as the West Texas wind. Dashing and daring, a drink he was sharing with wicked Felina, the girl that I love. So in anger I challenged his right for the love of this maiden. Down went his hand for the gun that he wore. My challenge was answered in less than a heartbeat. The handsome young stranger lay dead on the floor. Just for a moment I stood there in silence, shocked by the foul evil deed I had done. Many thoughts raced through my mind as I stood there. I had but one chance, and that was to run. Out through the back door of Rose's I ran, out where the horses were tied. I caught a good one, it looked like it could run. Up on its back and away I did ride, just as fast as I could from the West Texas town of El Paso out to the Badlands of New Mexico. Back in El Paso, my life would be worthless. Everything's gone in life, nothing is left. It's been so long since I've seen the young maiden. My love is stronger than my fear of death. I settled up and away I did go, riding alone in the dark. Maybe tomorrow a bullet may find me. Tonight's nothing worse than this pain in my heart. And at last, here I am on the hill, overlooking El Paso. I can see Rose's cantina below. My love is strong, it pushes me onward. Down off the hill to Felina I go. Off to my right I see 5 mounted cowboys. Off to my left ride a dozen or more. Shouting and shooting, I can't let them catch me. I have to make it to Rose's back door. Something is dreadfully wrong, for I feel a deep burning pain in my side. Though I am trying to stay in the saddle, I'm getting weary, unable to ride. But my love for Felina is strong, and I rise where I've fallen. Though I am weary, I can't stop to rest. I see the white puff of smoke from the rifle. I feel the bullet go deep in my chest. From out of nowhere, Felina has found me, kissing my cheek as she kneels by my side, cradled by 2 loving arms that I'll die for. One little kiss, and Felina, goodbye. Yeah, goodbye to that, eh? I bet you're glad. Come back from El Paso, I won't sing again till tomorrow. Tales from the jails.